Life happens. Whether we're going through a time that we're complacent, we're happy with the way life is going, or whether we're experiencing tremendous challenges and difficulties and suffering, the truth of the matter is life happens. And it all depends on how we look at life. Now, I wanted to share with you a number of situations in my life where I really thought that first of all, this was either embarrassing or difficult and challenging, and it turned out to be a different turning point in my life. And now I see that it had tremendous purpose, and it turned out for the better. Now, I'm sharing with you this information because not always do we see the turning point in our lives. Not always do we see why things happen for the best. However, it's nice to know. And we know that Be'ezrat Hashem, God willing, when Mashiach comes, the Messiah comes, we will know why we experienced what we experienced. And our sages teach us that we will dance and sing for all the suffering and difficulties we had, and we will understand why we had them. It will be a lot of clarity. But I wanted to share with you a few points in my life, and hopefully maybe we can relate to each other and grow together. So the first experience is I was originally engaged to a different person, and I remember it was very embarrassing when my khatan at that time came to my house and actually broke off the engagement. I already had a wedding invitation sent out, and basically he broke it off. I remember feeling deeply embarrassed for the fact that now I will have to call all of these people and tell them, I'm sorry you had something planned for that day, but the engagement is off. I really didn't know. Turned out to be that my husband, at this point right now, was actually a guest to my wedding, and thank God things turned out to be for the better and for the best. Another point in my life was when I decided to do field work for my job. Many of you know that I'm a special educator. I teach special ed and general ed. So I had to do field work as an educator. I finished my master's degree, and now I just had one more section in the degree requirements. And so I applied for a certain school, and I was told that I would teach in an integrated setting. That means that there's many students half the students are basically typically developing, and half the students are either behaviorally challenged or have speech delays, language delays, minor delays. So I was really excited. I'm like, okay, this class isn't so challenging. I can handle it. Lo and behold, come closer to the time when I was supposed to start, they gave me a very difficult class, an autistic class, where all the students were autistic. There were 6 of them, severely autistic, and we had 4 adults, and we still needed more help. I mean, it was an extremely challenging class. I remember being extremely terrified of starting, only because I didn't know where to put myself. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I was honestly scared because I didn't know what to expect from these types of children. It turned out to be my most rewarding experience. I learned how to deal with these children. I learned how to grow with them. I learned how to celebrate them. I became so different, incredibly, incredibly much more patient than I was. And I learned how to tap into them, how to learn from them. Now, this was more than 10 years ago, and now I teach for the Board of Ed, and I'm a head public school teacher, special ed, and I have one of the most difficult classrooms in the school where they are behaviorally challenged, they're on medicine, they're emotionally disturbed, and I really enjoy what I do. Did I enjoy it before? No, I was actually really, really afraid. But thank God it turned out to be the best thing, one of the best experiences in my life. Another turning point in my life was when I was in college, and I didn't know what to major in. And my father said, I really want you to be an accountant or somebody who will help us out in the family. So I said, I definitely don't want to do a doctor because it's just not my thing. And I commend everybody who can handle it. So I said, I really honestly wanted to be a teacher. And my father said, because he was also a teacher all his life and a principal, he said, it's such an unappreciative job. Don't do it. Just go for something like accounting or something like that. So I majored in accounting. I failed in it twice. Um, I took mathematics, thinking I would do some time of analyst job, business job. I failed that also, and thank God, I really really love what I do as I'm teaching, and I really feel that the reward personally comes from within, because every child is its own story, is a growth experience, is its own book. I really really do enjoy what I do. I'm grateful to God that I can do that. One more experience I wanted to share was that when I was giving lectures, I was giving lectures to people in their homes, and I was starting out. It was about 6, 7 years ago, and I was honestly disappointed many times when nobody showed up to my classes. I was very disappointed. One time it was, in a snowy time when my car actually didn't start. Car gave up, and the battery died, and I was very disappointed. I prepared the lectures, I bought the treats, I sent the flyers. I was very disappointed. And then, I took it as a message that Hashem, our God, is trying to send me a message for me to take a different avenue, a different approach on the situation. So then I started my YouTube videos, and thank God it's been more than 110 videos, and many people tell me that it really benefits them. And I want to let you know the number one reason I do it is for me to really grow, and I'm happy to grow with others if that is Hashem's plan. If I'm helping, if I'm zochet to help, if I have the merit to help anyone else, I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity. These experiences that I shared with you are for us to internalize that not everything that Hashem throws our way is honestly negative. I really saw in these life situations that these became turning points in my life for the better. Where did we learn this from? Yosef, when he was brought to Egypt in order to become a slave, he was in the caravan. And in the caravan, usually with the camels, they put kerosene, which smells really disgusting. But instead, they carried spices. And this was a message to Yosef that Hashem, our God, is with him. That although it seems like I'm bringing you to, Hashem is saying, although it seems like I'm bringing you to a really difficult time, and it's so undeserving, and it's so not fair, and it's so not right, and you're such a true servant of Hashem, and this is happening to you, and it seems such a despairing situation. Smell the spices. I promise you, Hashem is saying, this is good. This is also good for you. It's good for you. I'm with you. I'm doing this because it's for a bigger picture. We may not see the bigger picture. Don't worry, Yosef. I'm here with you. That's what Hashem is saying. We can also take this into our own lives, because Hashem, our God, is never going to do anything to hurt us. He's doing everything in order to be merciful. He's kind. He's merciful. He's compassionate. Everything that happens to us is done out of love. When you discipline your child, the child may be upset at you for disciplining them. However, the reason you're disciplining them is for their own good. You're not giving your child unlimited time doing whatever they want to do because you want to teach them self-control, restraint, responsibility, respect. The word Yisurim, which means suffering, comes from the word Musar. Musar means to instruct. Hashem, our God, instructs us through our suffering, through our painful moments. We should take our painful moments and truly learn from them. What is Hashem sending us? What kind of message is He trying to teach us? It's not always easy to see that. Our sages teach us that a person should never be super, super ecstatically happy because they can lose themselves. And when they're down in the pits, when they're feeling depressed, when they're feeling low, when life isn't going their way, they'll say the way they would like it, don't sink down. And the reason for that is when you sink so low, it's really hard to get up. And when you're so high up in the sky, when everything is going great and life is fantastic, you can be very arrogant. So it's good to be in the middle. When life is going great, just be grateful. And when life is difficult, try to Tap into your inner self and say, you know what? Hashem is doing this for a purpose. Now, I want to leave you with a practical tip. When you're going through a situation that is difficult, painful perhaps, think of two ways that are positive from the situation. For example, it could be something minor, it could be something major. So two things that you could think about. Let's say somebody insults you. So two positive things to think about is, listen, I have the brain power to realize this person just insulted me. Because you know what? Thank God, it's a blessing to have a healthy brain. Not everybody has a healthy brain. Not everybody can realize that somebody just insulted them. And number two, the person insulted me in order for me to tap into my true greater self. It may hurt me in the beginning, but if I realize that, listen, this is giving me an opportunity to give benefit of the doubt, to let it go, to understand that, listen, I don't always say everything that everybody likes to hear. I also unintentionally may insult someone, and I want to forgive this person just like I want other people to forgive me. So I would like to leave us with a blessing that may we merit to appreciate times in our lives. Everything is going fine, everything's going great, to tap into our gratitude. And may we also be able to look at the bigger picture and trust Hashem that He's doing everything for our greater good when things aren't going as easily as we would like and as pleasantly as we would like. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming.